Ladies and gentlemen, Seiko StarCraft back, bringing you a game from the Red Bull Battlegrounds out of New York City. Very stoked that they released all these replays from the group stages up into the finals. This is a match from the group stages between Parting and Scarlett. And I was so excited about these replays because particularly Scarlett's play during this tournament was top notch. There was some amazing games she did that I'll be getting to in the next little bit. Like the gas force fields, that's cute. And I've actually really liked this map as well. Habitation Station, I believe it's called. I have not played on it yet, and I don't know if it'll ever make it into map pool or anything like that. But it is pretty sweet. Very short rush distances considering, and then you got these gold bases that are essentially a Tempest shot across. And everybody that was at this tournament was just the tippity top. So I'm excited to go through all these different replays. And I'm going to be casting the series. This is game one of, I believe, is a best of 3 for the group stages. I actually see a very fast scout from the looks of it here from Parting, who is looking like he's probably just going to go Nexus first. He was probably going to scout just to make sure that if he was going to go Nexus first, it wasn't a pool first on this side. There was, oh, it is pool first, but it's not necessarily like a 9 pool or something. Something tricky, something funky. Beercraft is in full swing as I'm here having myself a tasty bev. Still more kokanee. I bought like a mega flat of kokanee because I'm kind of cheap right now. It's Christmas coming up soon, so I've spent almost the money that I want to spend. And yeah, so I'm just trying to play it wise, play it cool. We'll see how long Parting can deny this down here. Scarlett's usually pretty good at almost sneaking down that hatchery. There we go. Like, you can, if you're really good, you can generally pop that in a little bit early. It only cost her maybe about 50 minerals beyond where she wanted to be when she put it down. So pretty good tight play from her there. Actually, what bothered me a lot, and I mean not to detract from the great gameplay experience, for those people who watched the stream for this, is to see anytime there's a channel when Scarlett is playing, just that's where we see the worst of internet trolls for some reason when Scarlett plays any games. And she plays amazing, but for some reason everybody likes to pick on her because of her choices in life, I guess you could say. And I find that very disappointing, actually. Units wise, I was about to say there was a lot of chrono boost saved up there from the Protoss player. And I was wondering if it was going to be for something, but if you are going to be going for a Nexus first, it's hard to spend it on something else when you have no gas. So that means he was a little bit further behind on probes than I thought he would be. He should be a little bit further ahead than the Zerg player at this time, if he was using that chrono boost up wisely. Looks like a couple of links just out on the map to do a bit of scouting. This watchtower is a absolutely beautiful watchtower. It's right where you need to be, essentially. And we have a really fast third base, and I don't believe that, yeah, Parting doesn't have any clue that that's there. And that's when I was watching these maps that really occurred to me that there's probably going to be a lot of play to go quickly for this gold base. And it seems like obviously a smart move, because it's not that hard to hold. I mean, it's not that far away from your natural ramp. It's not that wide of a ramp. But it was only about 6 mineral patches, so if you get it really early in the game, it can give you that huge boost because of the gold minerals, but it doesn't really have longevity to it. You'll mine it out fairly quickly. Now it looks like Parting might be thinking the same thing. No, he's just going for another scout. Big drone transfer. You obviously want to start mining these gold minerals as soon as possible and get the value out in case you end up losing this base at some point. It can pay for itself very quickly. Lots of drones. And I'm sure Scarlett feels perfectly fine to do this. Tech-wise, I mean, the gases are really just... They've only been mining for about 150 gas each, so the tech can't be that far in advance. And I wouldn't say that Parting is on a clock or anything like that. But now that she's over here mining from a gold base, and not taking any gases yet except for the 2 in the main, she's going to be able to really rocket out that kind of resources. And it would lend me to think that she might go for a very heavy Ling composition earlier on, because of obviously the mineral intake. We actually see roaches from her. And I know that she's a very fond player of getting out those mutas against Protoss, but it's so base tradey when you do that, and until that becomes a real big necessity, I don't really see her going in that direction. Lair tech on the way. Still hasn't gotten any additional gases. One spine crawler over here. And I think that's wise. It'd be very easy for like 2 or 3 zealots to just march across the map. Ooh, that one's zerging its way. And then you just, there's not much you can do with it. You pretty much have to abandon ship. One mothership core and 3 zealots can do a lot of damage against a Zerg player in the early game. We just have gateway tech so far out of our Protoss player. I'm kind of surprised we don't see any type of starport tech. With some void rays and the easy ability to move between bases, you would think that going for starport tech would lend for some great advantages. Obviously, getting a high mineral intake is going to help out with your gateway focused army though. So many drones. What are we up to now in the units tab? Pretty good size lead. More coming, and now she's starting to get roaches in her upgrades and the additional gases. As much as you don't really want to get gases here because this is for the gold base, you'd want to mine these out sooner because that might be just a period of time before the Protoss will take that base or shut it down in some way. Now, unfortunately, Scarlett knows that this base is being taken right now from the Protoss. There's really nothing she can do about it right now. She doesn't have out a lot of units. If she had out even at say 10 roaches, she'd probably be able to come over here and at least put some pressure on. But you never know as a Zerg player, there could be a bunch of stalkers, some force fields coming off of some sentries. You lose that bit of an army, and then all of a sudden they can just march across the map and really take advantage of you in bad ways. If you can be taken advantage of in good ways, I suppose. That's a really big sentry count. I mean, they could tangle with some of these roaches, but you don't really want to trade this high gas intake sentries just for some roaches or some zerglings. But with that amount of force fields available, and having the mothership core there, I think it'll be a while before she can really get and do that pressure. We do have a Spire on the way, some Hydras, and this might just be buying her time. Going for, you know, that kind of heavy muta... Ooh, that's a nice snipe. Going for a very heavy muta count is really exciting, but you really need to have like 4 bases before you can produce enough mutas at a high enough amount to fight off any type of Protoss play. And from the looks of it, Scarlett, let's see what she has scouted here. Knows the base, sees the gateway count, sees the robo, and sees the Twilight Council. It's kind of nice. When Groove Spines finishes, I wonder if she could actually hit some probes from the low ground. It's a pretty good little army over here though. It's only got +1, +2 attack will be done soon. But if we look at the Zerg army, I mean it's just +1 and it's actually getting melee as well. So a little bit uncoordinated. She's going to have 3 different tech routes to try to provide upgrades for, and I don't really know if she's going to be able to afford, well, she's got a lot of economy. I don't know if it's going to really make a lot of sense for her to try to do that. Force field's always a big threat. +2's about to finish, and I'm going to expect this army to move out a bit further. 10 mutas on the way. And 10 mutas isn't enough to do much damage to this army, but it's enough to do a lot of economic damage if she wanted to get in there. These have blink, so they could pop up into the main base, not the main base, the gold base here, and actually get a little bit of damage in. I wouldn't think that'd be too bad of an idea. Even 4 up here start one-shotting any type of drones that are in play. Creep's getting cleaned up well, but I don't think that bothers Scarlett too much. She's about to transition into units that are much faster and fly. This is a really, really preemptive base tradie. Very smart warp in, very good timing. Mutas are in doing a lot of damage in the gold base. Let's see if she can bust down the front here. That's what she wants to try to do. Mutas are now moving in. Quick pull on the probes. And when you see all the bases that Scarlett's taking right now, is because she expects this to turn out poorly in the long run. Let's see how many workers she's got killed here. Oh, it won't tell me how many workers she's got killed. You can't look at the units tab though, where we can see just how many workers she got left. 50. So parting's not doing too bad. My keyboard's about to run out of batteries, and that sucks. I don't think the Hydra's going to be able to tangle with this. The mutas are coming in. They got a little held up there on the pylon. All the units aren't attacking in unison against these +2 stalkers. They can do a lot of damage to these mutas. And right now, I think Party's in a pretty good position. He's getting on top of the production facilities, picking up some stray mutas as they come across. There's a bit of a tough spot right now. She doesn't want to lose those overlords. She doesn't have that much extra supply available. Splitting up her mutas to be able to do maximum damage. Did kill off the Nexus here. The mutas are trying to pick off some sentries, but she's costing herself a lot of mutas. And you really can't tangle that well. I would expect with this kind of bank to start throwing down spine crawlers. Tons and tons of spine crawlers. Maybe she's just a little perplexed right now, not quite coordinating, because she doesn't have enough mutas to really tangle well with stalkers. Not the best focus firing on the mutas there. A lot of low health ones that probably could have got picked off. Just doing guaranteed damage now, trying to get as much workers as she can. With that Guardian Shield, I don't know if she's going to be able to take all of this. Got focused on that sentry, she gets it. Back in her base, it is marching along now. That's a lot of stalkers. She will not be able to fight that army head on. A couple of Zerglings in here are actually going to help out a lot. There is nothing else right now for parting to really mine from. But it's not like Scarlett's mining too well. She got the gold base. She is going to mine that out well. I would think in her mind, saving some of these drones to run away might be very worthwhile. She does have another Spire in production, so that way she will be able to get back into mutas. Units wise, 27 stalkers to 9 mutas. I don't think she just has enough stuff to be able to deal with this. She's got so much minerals though. That's why I think if she got a big swell of maybe Zerglings, she does have some upgrades for Zerglings. Maybe she could get some surrounds on some of these smaller army numbers here. If she had, you know, 30 or 40 Zerglings come out and go after even this bit of the army. Nope, doesn't get away. These stalkers are staying at home because this is all the income that Parting has right now. But that's okay in his mind, I'm sure, because all he really wants to do is be able to get out more stalkers, and that's kind of his late game win unit here. Ton of banks still available here for Scarlett, and I think that's her inability to spend that. Maybe it's the larva. What's she got for larva right now? 10 larva, yeah, so I don't think she really has the larva to spend on it. At least she did transfer away most of her workers. Even Burrow at this, well, there's an observer in here, never mind. Burrow won't do her any good. Managed to get a few units there, but a reinforcement of stalkers was able to drive that back well enough. Yeah, she's mining, and that's it. She doesn't have the gas to produce more mutas. It's just going to be able to get any type of Zergling numbers out right now. I think that's going to help her. She'll never be able to get up a muta flock big enough to deal with this number of stalkers. And they're +2 right now. Oh man, it's down to 6, I believe now. A couple more in production, but I mean it's almost not even worth it at this point. Maybe another macro hatch or something like that. Hide a macro hatch and just start pumping out tons and tons of Zerglings. I mean, you can always blink back. I mean, stalkers are pretty good against Zerglings in certain numbers. I get a few units there. But that's probably going to be pretty close to GG here for Scarlett. She does have those hidden bases, but she's not going to be doing anything. She's got no answer for this number of blink stalkers. Looks like Parting senses what's up right now and is going to go around different parts of the map, start shutting down bases. This is really funny, actually. He doesn't know if there's a base right above him. That's kind of cute. Bye-bye, Larva. Looks like she wanted to run into a bit more damage. Maybe she got a few more workers. Workers killed. Well, it's pretty even in the grand scheme of things. I do appreciate that Scarlett's in that never give up, never surrender kind of mentality. But I don't think she just has the way to spend the larva right now, or make the larva in order to be able to do the production she needs. This is a really funny base that this is mining. Can't she see that?
The hive cluster is
Must you see the creep sitting right there? That's really cute. Actually got a surround on a stalker. That's kind of funny. Does blink away to safety though. Handful of lings. I mean, she's producing what she can. Once again, yeah, there's no real larva there to deal with making more of this, so. Trying to run in with a few Zerglings here. This base is going to go down. That's probably going to be the end of it. Might be able to come home, but this is so many stalkers. And with Blink, I don't think that she's going to be able to deal with that at all. And there's the GG. Blink micro, just a little bit too good. Pretty good game. I thought that Scarlett made some interesting decisions on that, but for a very low econ style, Parting showed that he had a really good strategy to deal with what it took just to survive, and if he survived long enough, he was going to win. So, game 1 goes to a Parting, game 2 coming at you in just a moment.